I've been doing a couple videos like this during this year that I've really enjoyed doing, which is a get ready with me without editing. So I am going to do my very best to not do any editing throughout this video. And I want to talk about just things, but I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I do want to touch on a little bit, because when I was a while ago, when are you seeing this? When are you seeing this? I'm not 100% sure. I'm using the new NYX foundation. I've been really liking this one. I will link the things that I'm using down below. I don't know if I'm gonna mention them. I filmed a video basically about, you know, the Jaclyn Hill situation on TikTok and like the things that the drama channels are not telling you. I filmed a video like this and I got really, really good feedback on that video. But you know what? I made one big mistake with that video. And you know what that is? I didn't fact check. And you know what I didn't fact check? When Jaclyn said having 1 million subscribers and getting 30,000 views is very low, I didn't fact check. And you know what? That would have been very low if it was true, which it isn't, because I went in after the video went live. I went in and I looked at her views. Her views are spectacular. Like in every measurement known to man, she has fantastic views on TikTok, and even on TikTok, and also like the like ratio on Instagram, and even the views on YouTube, even though she hasn't uploaded in months. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I saw that and I was like, dang. First of all, I am an idiot because I believed her at face value, which some of y'all are probably giggling right now. I never even thought about fact checking. Is her views actually low? Her views are fantastic. Like, she gets more views than she has followers, which is very hard to do. It is like incredibly hard to do. Like, I've only done that once in my YouTube career. Once, maybe twice actually, now that I think of it. I gotten more views on a video than I have subscribers, and I've been on this platform for 10 years, and for her to get more views than subscribers or more views than followers on TikTok on a almost weekly, daily basis, I cannot explain to you how much money that is making her, or how unusual that is, or how great that is. So that's making me think that it's just maybe another case of just rage bait. Like, did she make that video to get people to talk about her? Because say what you want about some creators, the more people talk about them negatively, the more money they're making. There's a couple of creators like that they just seem untouchable. And again, I don't know Jaclyn, I don't know anything about her, but this is the part that actually got me, I don't want to say shocked, because I don't feel like that's the right word, but it did make me go, oh, I did not even look. And I've also, at this point, I'd seen a couple of videos about the situation from creators, and I said that in my video, some creators are intentionally very high, like negative and just very black and white for the sake of views, because the more negative you are, the more views you get and the more money that they make. They might say that they just want creators to go away or be better or stop making a fool of them, but they don't, because this is how they pay their bills. They need creators to make a fool out of themselves, and for commentary and drama channels, the best thing that can happen is that a creator makes a fool of themselves on TikTok or YouTube, and they can monetize out of that. So keep that in mind as well. But I've seen a couple of people talking about like, oh, what you should do. You know, what you should do instead on social media. And I don't know everything that's going on social media right now. I think for me, I stopped looking at like, you know, trends and views and like what you should be doing to making it, especially on like other platforms like TikTok or Instagram that I wasn't really that interested in. But because I realized that the trends were going in a direction where what the bulk of the audience wants to see might not necessarily be what like you individually want to see. I mean, it's the same with like fashion trends. Sometimes something becomes incredibly like popular and you realize that you don't like it. Everybody else seems to like it, everybody else seems to wear it, but you just could not see yourself wearing that. And that could be the same with like trends in social media, trends in like makeup and like books and so many different things. So I find it interesting when I see people talk about like, oh, this is what you should do instead. Some people were saying, oh, you should do what Jackie Aina is doing and you should have great product like quality like her videos, because Jackie Aina, her production quality is so good. Like, oh my god, her videos are so well produced and so beautiful. And then people are saying, no, they should be less produced. It should be more like, you know, don't make it too scripted, don't make it too perfect, don't make it too beautiful, like be your true authentic like messy self. People want to see more authenticity and less like, you know, perfect lives. And then people are saying, no, it needs to be longer, shorter, less of this, less of that. And I even saw people saying like, oh no, it should be value. And then people are like, no, it should be like Alex Earl. And Alex Earl is basically just like living, it's almost like reality TV, but on TikTok, from what I gather from her content. Like it's like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but just on TikTok. That's what I've gathered from like her content. And I think what this really shows is that when it comes to social media, there are so many things that can work and not work simultaneously. And now, the more that I've looked into this, because of everybody having such different views, I was like, you know what is actually like working for people right now online? And I will say, you can be very like messy, authentic, and even like very rich like Alex Earl, but just being authentic in yourself and not holding back and being like a reality show where you're showing all the bad parts too, talking about like messing up and partying and being hungover and throwing up and just being her authentic, just kind of messy self, and people are eating that up. I could totally see why, because who again didn't love the messy reality TVs of the early 2000s? I know that I was very into that then. I mean, I'm not right now, because that's not the journey that I am living right now. But I totally could see why people are interested in that. And then, like with Jacqueline, she could be like, oh, my views are so bad, but her views are actually great. And people actually did watch her just showing her, you know, lifestyle of the rich and the famous, just really bougie lifestyle. And people were kind of like eating that up as well, and just like actually wanting to see that, because like, again, she has so much views. And it's the same with the Michaela TikTok and her shopping. I think that there is an interest in seeing people live a different lifestyle, and I think sometimes people will rage watch things too. Like, they'll say they don't want to watch it, but simultaneously they have watched all of it. Like, they say they don't want to watch content, and the TikTok keeps recommending stuff to them that they don't want to watch, but they keep clicking on it and they keep leaving hate comments, and TikTok keeps recommending it to them. So I think like right now, the currency that people are using on social media is just stirring up any kind of feeling. Any feeling will do, and any feeling can be monetized. And I think that that's how all the like the rage bait came in, because again, there is so much content right now on social media that is made of AI. Like, the amount of like shorts and memes and just TikTok and Instagram things that are just straight up like AI right now, it's kind of crazy. And I have never felt like, you know what, I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. I've never felt like I'm not keeping up with technology or that I'm not understanding things, even with TikTok as a platform. Because like, again, I'm not the person that's like on TikTok. I'm not keeping up with the platform, but like I understand it. I still upload my shorts there. I still look there time to time. I understand how to use the search function. Like I'm not a grandma. But when it comes to AI, I truly do not know anything. I don't know where to go. Is it a web page? Is it an app? I literally have never used AI in my knowingly. I've never knowingly used AI in my life, and I quite literally do not know where would I turn to do such a thing. And again, I don't need you to answer me because I'm not interested in it. I find so much of the AI content that I see being so incredibly just soulless. And me and my husband were actually having this discussion the other day about AI in the music industry, and he was saying that like there's already music that's like on the charts that are made by artists that don't exist or that are made by AI. And we were talking about like, how are we ever gonna have a new genre in music if music keeps being made like a compilation of things that already exist? Because like AI is not smart like that. It only uses stuff it compiles things from stuff it already knows or stole from other places. And it was just it was a good discussion between me and my husband. We have great discussions. Oh, I think there's a plane coming. I'm gonna miss this when I move to the Europe. Wow. Do we have now in Europe, Europeans watching this, do we now have caffeine water? Because this is like a sparkling water. Do we have that with caffeine in Europe? Because when we left, I don't think I'd seen that. But I will miss it if we don't have it. I am gonna see what I can use. What do I want to wear? Let me see if I can find a good blush. I want to hear like, what do you think about like stuff like that as well, like AI in social media? Because I don't think I always be like, oh, AI is so boring, we don't want AI. But then I come across one of those like AI memes and they have like 30,000 shares and 400,000 likes, and I'm like, huh. well. I guess that's exactly what people want. So I just find it all so fascinating. I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this. I mean, quite honestly, I just find it so fascinating. But yeah, with social media, I think at the end of the day, I think that anything goes. You just kind of have to do it in a way where people actually care about you. And this is something that I was thinking about earlier today with like how some people, like one day you're in and next day you're out. And I feel like for me, for example, and again, every time I mention views, people are like, don't complain. I'm not complaining. I'm pointing it out. I'm not complaining. I'm pointing it out. But there's someone like me who has lower views. And again, not complaining. I got eyes. I can see I got lower views. I feel like it's almost like reading a book series. And then kind of mid through the book series, you stop caring about the characters. And you're just like, I think I'm gonna DNF this series and I don't want to keep... Kaisa? I'm okay with like letting it go. And it's not necessarily that you're like, oh my gosh, why is this not working? It's not like you're like hating the characters or like, I never want to see these people again. But it's more like, I'm not invested enough to keep reading. And I think that that's when it comes to like social media. There are so many people that I used to watch each and every one of their videos. But somehow at some points, I just weren't invested in them anymore. And it's not because they're not doing great reviews anymore or they're not doing great videos anymore. I just wasn't invested enough to keep at it, basically. Oh gosh, I love this. I love it. And I'm wondering if it's the same with like creators as well. It's not necessarily something that creators like do, and not everybody is out here getting like canceled, but I'm thinking because like there are so many things you could do with your content once you see like you're getting less views. Some people are reinventing themselves, some people are doing different things, but I don't think that like all of these talk about like things you need to do with social media right now, trends and stuff. I don't even know if I think it's about that. I think you can be successful in any genre as long as you're keeping people still interested like in it. Sorry, I had to cut a little bit. My dog is getting a little bit crazy, but I hope I made sense. I don't know where she started howling again, but I just see it as like everybody has their season, and sometimes you're just like DNFing. Like you're like, I did not finish this series, or I did not finish this like influencer's journey from beginning to end. And I think that's totally fine. I think that some people get like super upset when they see that a creator that they love is like not doing as hot anymore. And it's just like, it's not up to the viewers to save a creator. It's up to the creator to save themselves, basically, to either keep with the times and doing the kind of concepts that are getting a lot of views, or reinventing themselves to again become a character that people want to pick up again and want to follow again in whatever way that could be, or change platforms, which a lot of people have done, and I think that's really successful. Or just accepting that like, well, I had my run and now it's like somebody else's season, and I can either be sorry, I had to sneeze but you can either be a creator that gets less views and be okay with it, or you could pivot to do something else, or you could get another job. I mean, that's also possible. I think a lot of creators just really, really want to stay being a creator, because again, it is a easy job in comparison to, I mean, a bunch of other jobs that I have had. I've said this so many times, like it's an easy job, but it's a time-consuming job. And especially if you are not like the top layer of creators, and I see this sometimes from like really successful creators that upload like one video a week and they're getting like 40,000 views, and that's probably the only thing they need to do to have an income, and they're like, oh, it's so easy. But a lot of like smaller and mid-sized creators that do need to upload more than that, and that do need to be very like active to make equal amount of money, or in most cases less amount of money, they do have to put in more hours than like the bigger creators. Not everybody is out here being like Michaela or Jaclyn Hill, where they're getting like probably 100K for a sponsorship. Like that's not the journey that most creators are living. So they do have to work a lot. But I think there are people out there that just really, probably it scares them that there's a time when they're no longer, and I've heard that from people I've met. I'm not going to name call anyone, but I've heard that from people that I've met that are like, they love being creators so much that they would literally do anything to keep being a creator. They would change genre, they would change platforms, they would do anything to be a creator. And I also think back to when I was modeling when I was younger, because I was modeling in a genre that is not really that popular anymore. And the reason why I don't think it's that popular anymore is because there are like more like OnlyFans available today, which was not available back when I was modeling, and that was not, I just want to make that clear, it's not the kind of content that I used to do. But back when I was modeling, the main reason why I quit, because I used to do a lot of like lingerie and swimsuit, is because those kind of platform where you would upload yourself nude for money was becoming very popular, and I instantly knew that's not for me. That is not the kind of content I want to do. It's not the type of model that I want to be. No shame to anyone who chooses to do that. But I knew it wasn't for me. I knew that I didn't want to do that. So that's when I quit modeling as like, I don't want to say career, but like I quit like seeing it as even a job or a part-time career, because I was like, this is where the direction of the industry is going. It's more about like sexualizing yourself and being naked than actually like the modeling like aspect of it, or even the lingerie or the swimsuit aspect of it. And some of the girls that I used to model with still to this day do OnlyFans. And they're also around the age that I am, because they so, I'm guessing desperately, still wanted to do modeling, that they would jump to any platform and join any trend to do it. And I'm not saying this that like, again, in any way like as to talk down to them, but we all have different things that we dream about doing in life. And for some people, being a creator or being a model was more important than being a type of model or a type of creator. For me, I gotta be honest with you, it's for the love of makeup. Like, makeup is what drew me to online sphere. Even when I was watching people do content about video gaming, I never felt like I wanted to do content about video gaming. I never felt like that. I even have videos uploaded about boss kills that we did in our guild, uploaded on YouTube, but I never ever even, it never crossed my mind that I would do something more with that. Like, never. I just uploaded it to our forum. I had it on YouTube and I linked it to my forums because so our guild could watch the kill. Like, that's it. It never crossed my mind. So for me, when I was like, oh, maybe like makeup YouTube is not what I should be doing. Again, there's gonna be a video. I'm trying to think about the timeline because I'm pre-filming a bit because I'm going home for Christmas. But there's gonna be a video where I talk about like the actual reasons why I'm quitting YouTube, because again, I could definitely still like do YouTube and have that as a career. But the main reason I'm quitting is because of my mental health. But I also think that it's a good time to quit, because again, most creators do have like up and then it's a little bit down. And now that I'm in my little bit down, I think it's a perfect time for me to take a step back and have it to be my, not my career, and instead have it being my having be in my side hustle again. It just all like is aligning with each other. But if I was dying to be a creator first and foremost, this would have been the perfect time for me to be like, okay, so what is popular? What can I get into? Because I mean, I could probably make a killing on Twitch. Let's be honest here. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am pretty good at gaming. I am not a bad gamer. Like, I know how to play video games. And I'm pretty good at quite a few games as well. So if I wanted to, I could definitely devote the time and become a gamer instead. It would be like not even hard. Like, not even a hard thing for me to do. But I don't want that. Because it's makeup that I'm interested in. And since it is makeup that I'm interested in, I instead am going to devote my time to work on the beauty brand that I have. But I do know of people that are like, okay, reviewing makeup did not work out, so now I have to do something else. And I find it so resilient, and I do look up to them to being like so passionate about being a creator that they're like willing to just dive into a different category of stuff to like being it. Because again, I love doing YouTube videos, and I even like editing a little bit nowadays, which I did not used to like at all. But that doesn't mean that I want to do YouTube videos about it, something that I'm not intrigued by. Let me see, where's the here? Like, I'm not gonna be doing commentary or like video essays, because I'm not. I don't. That's not what I want to like do videos about. But I find it interesting and very like resilient of people that are like, oh my god, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna learn all these new like techniques, and I'm gonna keep up with YouTube and know about all the drama and the trends. And gonna save all of this footage and learn about the new editing softwares. And I'm like, wow, that is so impressive. And it almost makes me feel, I don't want to say lazy, but I'm like, I'm like, I'm not really that interested in that. Oh, my brows turned out very dark today. Oopsie. I'm gonna do a little bit of brow gel. I have been rewatching the entire, speaking of YouTubers, the entire video library from H Bomber Guy is actually one of my favorite YouTubers, and I have been rewatching it, and I have been rewatching it actually downstairs on the TV with my husband. And yesterday we watched the his video about vaccines, and my husband really liked it. He even stopped the video a couple of times mid through to discuss with me what he was discussing and explain to me like some of the things. If you didn't know, my husband is a scientist. He's a neuroscientist, but he has a master's in biomedicine. And it just made me feel very excited that a YouTuber that I liked could get that kind of response from my husband, because my husband is not a social media guy. I don't know if you knew, but my husband does not have any social media. He does not have an Instagram. He does not have a YouTube. He doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't watch social media. Like, he literally has no idea. His only contribution to social media is editing my declutter videos. That's about it. I'm gonna be doing a look with the new Blend Bunny palette. It looks really, really cute. So I'm gonna put on an eye primer and a lip liner and change my memory card. And let's talk about books a bit. I know this is not my book channel, but I want to talk about books. Okay, I want to talk about reading. I watched a commentary video actually about reading. Let me see, I think I saw it on TikTok, and I went down this rabbit hole, which I never do. Again, maybe this will be my 2026 thing, that I will watch more TikTok. But it was about an author who left a comment, and she did actually go back later and she did put up a response video. That's where my rabbit hole ended. But I'll see if I can find the comment and put it up here. But it was about how there is no way that people that have a full life, basically, a rewarding full life with, like, you know, a job and responsibilities and like actually, you know, making stuff happen for them, there's no way that they can read 100+ books a year. And I will say, I find it shocking that we still, in 2025, again, I'm gonna jump into the Haunt Me palette by Blend Bunny. This one just came in way too late for me to be able to do something with it, but I thought I'd do a look today, and I really want to do something red, and I'm almost thinking this one. Hear me out. I think this one. I think that will be cute. And I find it shocking that still, right now, in where we are right now in life, that people are still shocked that there are people out there doing things that they're not able to do. Like, what do you mean just because you can't read 100 books and still maintain a job and whatever you're doing that nobody else can? It's fascinating to me that this is the discussion that we're still having. And it's perspective. I read, so far this year, I have read, I think 105 books. And I'm filming this mid-December. Again, like I said, I am pre-filming. And I work 7 days a week with my YouTube channel. Again, not hard work, but time consuming. And I run a makeup business. And I'm married, and I do spend time with my husband. And I've been traveling every month this year. And I'm not saying that I'm a superwoman. What I'm saying is that it's not like it's, oh my God. What I'm saying is that I don't deserve like any kind of award or anything for reading 100 books. I didn't even think it was that hard to read 100 books. I just find it so fascinating when people are like, there is no way that you could still have like a job and friends and do other hobbies than reading if you read 100 books. Like you're some kind of like, everybody wants to read, but then eventually when you end up reading too much, it's like, well, now you're a loser. And it's so, like, yes, something has to give. I mean, I think we can all realize that when you read 100 books a year, something has to give. But reading isn't my only hobby. I also play League of Legends. I travel, like I said. I hang out with my friends and my husband. I do a lot of other things as well. But you know what I don't do? I do not scroll, like just doom scroll on social media apps. And I do not watch TV at all. I don't watch TV. So when people are sitting watching TV, I am sitting reading a book. And I also think that this is something that I've discussed with my friends. I think sometimes people think that sitting down and reading has to be this whole thing where you're carving out, like, I'm carving out time. This is me carving out time. I'm going to be reading. And for me, sometimes I sit down and I just read for 15 minutes. Even just reading a chapter is still reading a chapter. And I think also maybe that's why I end up, I also read very fast, but reading is an acquired skill. You can get better at reading, and the more you read, the better you become at reading. So the more you read, the quicker and the better you're going to be at it. Like it's an acquired skill. But I do think that me prioritizing reading over a lot of different things in life, quite honestly, that is not as pigmented as I was hoping it was going to be. And not watching TV and not doom scrolling, it enables me to read 100 books a year. And I also think that when people say like, oh my God, I can't believe you read 100 books. I'm like, that's not like 5 books. Like it's not 5 books a day. 100 books is just a little less than 2 books a week. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. I just, when I see people saying they read 200 books, that's when I'm like, wow, you must really love reading. Like, how much time do you like devote to reading? Do you have under? That's when I start being like, wow, that's a lot of reading. But 100 books, that's just you having that as one of your big hobbies. Because again, it's not even my only hobby. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying I don't understand why we are being criticized because we're doing something that like somebody else can't see themselves prioritizing that highly, and therefore other people must be cheating or just not having a life. I just find it so fascinating. And also reading. I thought we were like wanting people to read more. It's just all very fascinating to me. And again, if you have another hobby that you like to devote, and if you like to doom scroll for hours a day and that makes you happy, listen, I am happy for you. That is great. It does not make me happy. That's why I don't do it. I'm not 100% sure what I'm trying to do with this makeup look. I'm just trying to get something here. And I'm thinking my reading goal for this year. So in 2024, I read 50 books. And so I was thinking, wow, I felt like I read a lot. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put my reading goal to 60 books. Because like if I could read 50 books, I could read 60 books, right? And I read 60 books already in May. So I definitely was like, whoop, well, I got that goal done pretty quickly. So I put actually a reading goal. I think I'm going to see if I can go into the black because I want this to be a little darker. So this year, for 2026, I do put my reading goal to 100 because I'm like, if I could do 60 and then if I could put it to 60 and then do 100, I definitely can put it at 100 and make it. So I'm excited to see how that's going to end up. But yeah, it's not weird to read 100 books if you're really into reading and you're like highly prioritizing it and you like have practiced that skill a lot. With that being said, if you read one book this year, you're still reading more than a lot of people, okay? Reading 2 books is as good as reading 200 books. So don't feel bad if you read less, and don't feel bad if you like missed your reading goal either. I think, like, again, I think you can always change your reading goal too. I didn't, but maybe I should have throughout the year. Maybe I should have changed it into something else and just been like, wow, 60, I hit too quickly. Maybe I should have changed it. I also think that like reading goals is not the right thing for everyone, because for some people that might stress them out. I think you should also be careful about that, so you don't end up putting a goal that just makes you feel like, you know, bad about yourself. Let me just do a little bit more of this makeup and I'll come back when I'm doing shimmer instead. Okay, I used some of the light beige, and then I think I'm gonna do the matte white. It's called Woman in White. Oh, that's interesting. And I'm gonna do that in my inner corner. Apparently on my nose. Don't need that. And ooh, I have a sneaking suspicion I'm gonna like this look a lot. And then I'm gonna do, it's called Flicker. It looks like a really nice like champagne, and I wanna spray it a bit. I'm just feeling this look. But yeah, when it comes to like reading, I'm excited. I want to read a bunch of books next year, and I am looking forward to reading some of the books like on my TBR, like to be read, that I own in physical copy that I haven't gone to yet, that are for me like 5-star predictions. Like I really truly believe that I am gonna love these like books, and just for one reason or another I just haven't read them yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion that these are gonna be like amazing books for me, and I am so excited to read those. Like very excited. I'm actually oh my god, I did not want that. I'm actually reading Caraval right now, which so far is interesting, and I'm not sure it's interesting in a good way. I'm only like a couple of chapters in, so like so far it hasn't like really like started, but so far it's almost reading like a kid's book, and I'm like, I have nothing against young adult, but I'm like, how young adult? That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, huh, when you say young adult, how young are we talking? Oh my god, I sound so mean, I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up loving it. I'm literally like 4 chapters in, so don't even listen to me. Okay, the white is not incredibly pigmented, but I still really like the look. Let me do a little bit of the, my gosh. There must be a lot of planes coming in. Let me do a little bit of the white from Tarte. Okay, I'm really liking how that's looking though. I had to cut a little bit because I needed to get closer. Okay, let me put some of my brushes down. Ooh, you know what I'm really excited about doing more next year? I love going to the movies. I love going to the movies, and I haven't really been to the movies a lot this year, and I want to go more. So I want to use one of these red ones. I'm thinking the shimmery one is the one that's a sheer red, right? This one is called F-Bomb. Sheer Metallic. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Ooh, that is... Oh my god. 2025 is back. Look at that. Wow. That actually looks so incredible. Okay, I love a sheer red lip, if you didn't know. It's like something I love doing. And the reason why I didn't use the red lip liner is because I love a sheer red lip with a nude lip liner. I'm wearing Cinch Beauty Brazen Birch. I gotta say, I think everything is looking really, really cute. I love a monochromatic, like red with red, and especially with this red top. I don't feel like I use this top enough, but it's like a really, really cute one. But it's like a fully, like, open back. Like, it's real open, okay? It's like real open. And even though, like, right now, we're having like fall weather in Austin. The weather is so weird here. But it's supposed to be like 24 degrees Celsius and sun tomorrow, so I'm excited about that, not gonna lie. Even though we are leaving for Sweden in just a couple of days, and as I'm filming this, in just a couple of days, and I don't know what kind of weather we're gonna be having. I think there's gonna be around 0 Celsius, but apparently no snow, which honestly, I'm not that sad about that because I'm not a lover of snow. It's not my absolute favorite. But yeah, I was gonna say, I love going to the movies, and I want to go more to the movies. Maybe I can go to the movies this weekend. Because I had planned to not film this weekend before I'm leaving for Sweden. Maybe I have time for that. Maybe there's some fun movies going, because I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite things to do. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I mean, honestly, I hope it was rambly. And I did have to cut a little bit in it because I was sneezing and my dog was howling, but I did my best to keep it at a minimal editing for all of our sakes. And I would love to hear your thoughts down below as well. Like, what do you think it takes to make it in the social media landscape of 2026 that's coming? But yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.